Sega.
Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Duffy Duck here, and I'm from the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our redo Let's Play again, but this time in forms of Sonic Unleashed for the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3. So even then, they've noticed back in 2 years ago that both Piglet and Mickey Mouse, both they'd managed to tackle through Sonic Unleashed before, but in forms of the Nintendo Wii version or the PlayStation 2 version. So I thought to myself, I might as well just able to tackle for this game, but in the HD formation. So even then though that, 1080p support, and especially noticeable how the fact that it's on, it might be still runs at 30 frames per second though still, but even then, that's as far as memories goes to see how this will turn out. So, yeah, I've managed to delete my actual file of, during the likes of the Maxi Toys account for the likes of Sonic Unleashed data file. Oh, if you're probably wondering why that loading screen was pop up as soon as I pressed the A button, because much like Sonic 06, that, I'm assuming I managed to recently download some DLC of this game, which I'll get into more details of DLC once we get into the latest parts of the game, but for now, let's get started with Sonic Unleashed for the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3. So I like to call those two versions because they both play the exactly same gameplay when it comes to, well, we'll get into more details of assuming if there are some slight differences between the 360 version or the PlayStation 3 version. So, yeah, so let's get started. And yeah, it tells us about the notification about the stage selection screen.
Sonic! I'm sorry. Really, look, go easy on me. I'll turn over a new leaf, I swear. Just give me a chance.
Well, this is new. Showing remorse, Eggman? If you played nice, I wouldn't have to break all your toys.
Gotcha.
What?
a long time for this. Success! It's just as the Gaia manuscripts foretold! The entity that was sealed within the planet has awakened. Now I just need to harness its power. Eggman Land will finally come to be!
You've really gone and done it this time, Eggman.
Ah, Sonic, that's a good look for you. Festive. So long, friend.
Still, out of all these Sonic games I've recently played, this is still as one of my favorite CGI cinematics in this game, probably due to how intense it was. And you know, it's very much exactly like how it does it in the other versions, the Wii or the PlayStation 2 versions of these games. But you know, you get the idea.
What the heck is going on? Huh? Hey, are you okay?
I can't eat another bite.
Hey, pull yourself together.
Huh? Huh? Don't eat me! I taste bad!
You okay? Nothing broken?
Oh, I'm just fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Monster Guy.
Mr. Monster Guy? Looks like things have gotten pretty ugly.
Yeah, look at those teeth and those claws. What's your name, anyway?
I'm Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog. And you are?
Huh? What is my name? Ah! I don't know! I can't remember!
What? You forgot who you are?
Yup. I remember something falling from the sky, and everything just going all white. And then nothing. I can't remember a thing past that.
Uh-oh. Did I fall on him?
Oh man, what am I gonna do? What can I do? Where do I go from here? What'll I... I'm hungry.
Hey, don't worry. I'll help you get your memory back.
Really? You mean it?
Absolutely. I'm sure we'll find somebody who knows you if we look around.
Oh, thank you. You're the best, Mr. Monster Guy. I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Huh? Huh? What?
That was amazing.
And rather than just actually going to go for these tutorial segments, unlike the Wii or the PlayStation 2 version, we can simply just jump in. So, this is how the gameplay works in Sonic Unleashed for the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3, or you can call this game Sonic Unleashed HD version of the game. It's basically that this is where before when Sonic Colors exist and even Sonic Generations came out on the... Specifically, that was usually came out before this game, or after this game came out. Well, that was pretty weird. Anyway though, basically, Sonic Unleashed is basically a, if you're ever following through the Wii version of the playthrough, in the actual, premises on the actual game is going to be takes place in day and night system, which even then, that did happen after, Mario Party 6 has that system. And I've overpassed that goal rank by accident, but even then, it's not much I can tell for this first stage, and we've got a B rank, so that's a little bit of a bummer. But even then, no, it's pretty decent, I suppose. So, I'll get to more gameplay aspects as soon as we get into the next act, which should be, well, because usually we have right now is the forms of Windmill Isle Act 1, which usually is more accurately a test level to actually just to get used to how the controls looks like. So, I'll get to more details onto that when I'm having a bit of a struggling with the controls in this version over the Sonic Colors and Generations later.
What do you figure that was all about? The hair and those arms and look at the Chaos Emeralds.
So, is this what you usually look like?
Yeah, this is the real me. Pretty cool, huh? Huh? Where'd you go?
Whoa.
Looks good, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
That there chocolate chip cream sundae supreme is the pride of the city. The whole world can come tumbling down, but they'll still line up for a taste.
Hey! What about your memories?
Chocolate chip sundae supreme.
You said it. Enjoy it, kiddo. Satisfaction guaranteed. If you don't love it, you get your money back.
Hey!
Oh, I love it. Wow, this chip whatever stuff is great.
If you say so. How about you give me a hand and help look for somebody who knows you, Chip?
Chip?
Gotta call you something, don't I? What do you think?
Yeah, Chip. Chip. I love it. Yum.
Now what do you say we start asking around and see if anybody here knows you?
Okay.
I've realized about something is that this version of the game does have some graphical alterations from those particular two versions of the game. I say two versions because usually there's only one version for each of two platforms, which is the 360 and PlayStation 3 version, because it usually runs at 1080p or usually runs in HD and all that stuff. But I've noticed something right off the get-go though, is the fact that actually, I'll get into more details onto that. So, this is how the hub world looks like in the HD version of Sonic Unleashed. I have to say though, this feels way more nicer than the likes of the SD version of the game, or more so for most accurately, the Wii and the PlayStation 2 versions, because what makes it a little bit of a bummer between the Wii or the PlayStation 2 versions that you need to navigate it through the main menu hub worlds, which even then, you have to talk for some townspeople. Like, before you enter in the Gaia Gate on the Wii or the PlayStation 2 version, which I thought to myself, that's not right. But luckily though, in this version in particular, it does have some credit for it that allows you to actually get into the stage selection right from the start, so even then no need to talk to these townspeople or anything like that. Although you would do during the later parts of the game, but even then, that's all I can actually get for this point. So, this is how the actual stage select hub world looks like. It's very much different from the usual Gaia Gate ever since the Wii version or the PlayStation 2 version, because you normally have to get into the actual sun door or the moon door to get to one of these stages to another, especially the star or planet door, I should say, for the bosses. But in this version, well, we'll get into that in a little bit more details onto that later. So, from now on, here we go with Act 2 of Windmill Isle. So, as you can tell, I've managed to grab myself, if you probably couldn't see me grabbing those familiar medals ever since the hub world of Avatars, which is more accurately a tutorial world like anything else. So even then though, that makes it all checks it out there. So yeah, if you couldn't tell, I've managed to pick up both the Sun and Moon medals, which even then, think of like how it does if you ever think of grabbing the Power Stars from Super Mario 64, Shine Sprites from Super Mario Sunshine, and especially Power Stars from Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2. And even especially the most recent Mario game, Super Mario Odyssey's Power Moons, which think of like that, except the fact that they're a little bit more tedious to grab than the likes of the Power Moons in Super Mario Odyssey, or even especially the Power Stars in Super Mario 64. But even then, it has the exact same system, because basically every time you grab one of those Sun and Moon medals, the more medals you collect, it's basically more accurately, it will actually give you something more related to level progressioning, which even then, unlike the Wii or the PlayStation 2 versions of the game, that way you should able... What?! Okay, I have no idea what I'm doing right there. Are you freaking kidding me? Because here's another thing, like, whenever you're trying to die in the end of a level or something related to those kinds of stuff, and for some reason the time still carries on, which even then, I always found that to be quite of an annoying mechanic, which even then, I'm actually have to restart this, so even then, yeah, because if you couldn't tell, there's actually the first death of the playthrough, so that's a good start from the beginning, so, yeah, pretty much embarrassment, so even then, because of this though, folks, because of how the fact that I was so used to with Sonic colors on the Wii, especially noticeable on Sonic Generations for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 at this point, holy god, it took me a lot of long effort to able to get used to with this version of the game now, because first off, before when Sonic colors exist, for the Wii version that is, especially noticeable with Sonic Generations for the pretty much the PlayStation 3 version and the Xbox 360 versions of these games, right from the get-go, I don't have the stomp ability at the moment, and especially the wall jump ability, and the air boost as a result, and finally, there's no light speed dash to be obtained from the start, which even then, because of that though, I still kept on thinking of Sonic Generations for some particular reason, so... But even then though, as far as I'm aware, because the reason why I'm going to be doing this game again, on the forms of the Xbox 360 version of Sonic Unleashed, if you probably do not know, that's because I originally did done this back in during the likes of 4 years ago actually, back in 2014, whenever I first time ever to actually doing a Let's Play on this version of the game. Well, the quality itself is pretty good actually, but even then though, audio still looks incredibly messed up, and even especially noticeable that for my previous capture card recordings back in during 2013 through 15, that normally I usually run games in 50Hz, this game runs very badly in 50Hz mode, but even then, the only way you can recommend playing Sonic Unleashed for this particular version of the game, as you can see, is to run this game with 60Hz mode, because even then though, that you can definitely see why until we get to the latest parts of the game when it comes to story efforts, so even then, that's as far as I can really try to say about this. And yes, much like the Wii and the PlayStation 2 version, there are some quick time events you can have to work on with, but even then, in the first few stages you do only have to worry about these 3 buttons to your disposal at first, but then later on we'll get even more buttons to able to work on with, so whoa! What in the Christ, man? what's going on with the weird camera angles in this version, which even then, that, I don't know what I think. So anyway, so let's grab this moon medal before we're able to continue on with this stage. So anywho. And yeah, the weird thing about this game is that in order to actually perform a homing attack, as you can see, in order to actually perform this, and during the likes of, depends on what version you'll be playing, the 360 version that normally you have to jump normally, and then if you manage to jump in midair, then you have to press the X button in order to perform a homing attack. Which again, I was so used to with Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations at this point, because those two games did have the ability to able to use the homing attack while simply just able to jump twice, or even in this case tap the A button twice, which that's no longer going to be accessible with this version. So there we go, we got ourselves a beautiful A rank, not an S rank though, but even then, much like Sonic 06, the highest rank in this game will have to be the S rank itself, so even then, yeah. So as you can see, I've got myself 2 Sun Medals and 5 Moon Medals, so even then though, that way it can give me some potentials of level progressioning during later down the road. And as you can see, I've managed to obtain myself, these are called, I believe it's called, Chaos Drives, or in this case, Chaos, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Chaos Drives, because even then though, think of like the, experience points from certain RPG games, that, basically, every time you collect one of those Chaos Drives, the more you collected them, and you're about to be betting them for the likes of leveling up, not just for Sonic the Hedgehog, but also Sonic the Werehog as well. So even then though, that would able to actually get ourselves some level up experience. It's a bit like how it does in the Dark Gaia points from the Wii version or the PS2 version, kind of think about it.
Still no luck finding anyone who knows me.
Don't worry about it. Maybe your memory will come back on its own. Remember anything yet?
Nope.
Oh well.
Sonic? Whoa! Mr. Monster Guy is back!
So when the sun goes down, I turn into this?
Are you okay, Sonic?
I'm fine. I just need to be careful who sees me like this.
Sonic! Sonic, look!
What is it?
Oh, it's hopeless! The whole planet is split apart! We're doomed! Oh.
Mister?
Oh.
Hey, mister! Hey, don't cry. Ice cream. How about some more of this super tasty stuff?
What good is ice cream at a time like this? Oh.
Sonic, your arm just stretched.
Weird. But it could be useful.
Oh.
So, with that being said, folks, I'm afraid we're gonna have to end things off at this point here, folks, so tune in to me next time on Let's Play Sonic Unleashed for the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3. It's the fact that we're going to be moving on to Windmill Isle Act 1 within nighttime form, because even then though, that since we've immediately transformed into a werehog form, so yeah, see you guys next time. Later, fellas.